happy lives. But when the gods shake a house of foundations, to an inevitable disastrous strike, falling upon whose families, just as the surging ocean will swell, running before cruel Thracian winds, across the dark trench of the sea, turns up the deep black sand and crashes headlong on the cliffs, with scream and pain against the wind. I see the house's age-old sorrows, the house of Laodocus' children, sorrowing falling on the sorrows of the dead, one generation bringing no relief to generations after it. Some god strikes at them, on and on, without an end. For now, the light which has been shining over the last roots of Oedipus' house is being cut down with the bloody knife belonging to the gods below, for foolish talk and frenzy in the soul. O Zeus, what human trespasses can check your power, even sleep, who's cast the net on everything, cannot master, nor can the tireless months of the god. A sovereign who cannot grow old, you hold Olympus at your own. In all his glittering magnificence, from now on all future time, as in the past, your laws hold firm, and never enters a human being in its full force without his master. Hope raging far and wide brings comfort to many men, but then hope can deceive. Delusions born of volatile desires. It comes upon a man who is ignorant until his foot is seared in burning fire. Someone's wisdom has revealed to us a famous saying. Sometimes the gods lure a man's mind forward into disaster and thinks evil something good, but then he lives only the briefest time for a catastrophe.
Here comes Haman, your only living son. Is he grieving the fate of Antigone, his bride, bitter that his marriage hopes are gone?
We'll soon find out, more accurately than any could indicate. My son, would you like a cookie and some wine? You heard the sentence has been passed upon your bride, and have you now come here angry at your father, or are you loyal to me on my side no matter what I do?
Father, I'm yours. For me, your judgments and the way you act on them are good. I shall follow them. I will not consider any marriage a greater benefit than your fine leadership.
Indeed, my son, that's how your heart should always be resolved, to stand behind your father's judgment on every issue. That's what men pray for, obedient children growing up at home, who will pay back their father's enemies, evil to them for evil done to him, while honoring his friend as much as he does. A man whose father is useless children, what one can say of him except he's bred trouble for himself. And much to laugh at for those who fight against him? So, my son, don't ever throw good sense aside for pleasure for some woman's sake. You understand how such embraces can turn freezing cold when an evil woman shares your life at home. What greater wound is there to share with any false friend? So spit this girl out. She's your enemy. Let her marry someone else in Hades. Since I only clearly disobeying, the only culprit in the entire city, I won't perjure myself before the state. No, I'll kill her. And so let her appeal to Zeus, the god of blood relationships. If I father any lack of full respect in my own family, I surely do the same with those who are not linked to me by blood. The man who acts well with this household will be found just a man in the city. I'll trust such a man to govern wisely, or to be content with someone ruling him. And in the thick battle at his post, he'll stand firm beside his fellow soldier. A loyal, brave man. But anyone who's proud and violates our laws, or thinks he'll tell our leaders what to do, a man like that wins no praise from me. No, we must obey whatever man the city puts in charge, no matter what's the issue, great or small, just or unjust. For there's no greater evil than a lack of leadership that destroys whole cities, turns households into ruins, and in war makes soldiers break and run away. When men succeed, what keeps their lives secure in almost every case is their obedience. That's why they must support those in control, and never let some woman beat us down. If we must fall from power, let that come at some man's hand. At least we won't be called inferior to any woman.
Unless we are being deceived by our old age, what you've just said seems reasonable to us.
Father, the gods instill good sense in men, the greatest of all things which we possess. I could not find your words, somehow not right. I hope that's something I never learned to do. But other words might be good as well, because of who you are. You can't perceive all the things men say or do, or their complaints. Your gaze makes citizens afraid. They can't say anything you would not like to hear. But in the darkness I can hear them talk. The city's upset about the girl. They say all women here, she least deserves the worst of all acts for her most glorious act. When in the slaughter her own brother died, she did not just leave him there unburied, to be ripped apart by carrion dogs or birds. Surely she deserves some golden honor. That's the dark secret rumor people speak. For me, Father, nothing is more valuable than your well-being. For any children, what could be a greater honor to them than their father's thriving reputation? A father feels the same about his son, so don't let your mind dwell on just one thought. And what you say is right and nothing else. A man who thinks that only he is wise and he can speak and think like no one else, when such men are exposed, then all can see their emptiness inside. For any man, even if he is wise, there's nothing shameful in learning many things, staying flexible. You notice how winter floods the trees, which bend before the storm preserves their twigs? The ones who stand against it are destroyed, root and branch. In the same way, those sailors who keep their sails stretched tight, never easing off, make their ship capsize, and from that point on sail with their rowing benches all submerged. So end your anger, permit yourself to change, for if I, as a younger man, may state my views, I'd say it would be the best thing if men by nature understood all things, and if not, that is usually the case. When men speak well, it is good to learn from them.
My lord, if what he said is relevant, it seems appropriate to learn from him. And you too, Haman, listen to the king. The things which you both said were excellent.
And men my age, are we going to school to learn what's wise from men as young as him?
There's nothing wrong in that, and if I'm young, don't think about my age. Look at what I do.
And what you do, does that include dishonoring those who act against our laws?
I would not encourage anyone to show respect to evil men.
And her, is she not suffering from the same disease?
The people here in Thebes all say the same. They deny she is.
So the city now will instruct me how I am to govern?
Now you're talking like someone far too young. Don't you see that?
Am I to rule this land at someone else's whim or by myself?
A city which belongs to just one man is no true city.
According to our laws, does not the ruler own the city?
By yourself you'd make an excellent king, but in a desert.
It seems as if this boy is fighting on the woman's side.
That's true. If you're the woman, I'm concerned for you.
You're the worst there is. You set your judgment up against your father.
No, not when I see you're making a mistake and being unjust.
Is it a mistake to honor my own rule?
You're not honoring that by trampling on the gods' prerogatives.
You foul creature. You're worse than any woman.
You'll not catch me giving way to some disgrace.
But your words, you all speak on your behalf.
And yours and mine and for the gods below.
You're woman slave. Don't try to win me over.
What do you want, to speak and never hear someone reply?
You'll never marry her while she's alive.
Then she'll die and in her death kill someone else.
Are you so insolent to threaten me?
Where's the threat in challenging a bad decree?
You'll regret parading what you think like this. You, a person with an empty brain.
If you were not my father, I might say you weren't thinking straight.
Would you indeed? Well then, by Olympus, I'll have you know that you'll be sorry for demeaning me with all these insults. Go bring her out, that hateful creature, so she can die right here with him present, right before her bridegroom eyes.
No, don't ever hope for that. She'll not die with me just standing there, and as for you, your eyes will never see my face again. So let your rage charge on among your friends who want to stand by you in this.
My lord, Haman left in such a hurry. He's angry, and a young man at his age, the mind turns bitter when he's feeling hurt.
Let him dream up or carry out great deeds beyond the power of man. He'll not save those girls. Their fate is sealed.
Are you going to kill them both?
No, not the one whose hands are clean. You're right.
How do you plan to kill Antigone?
I'll take her on a path no people use. I'll hide her in a cave in the cavern in the rock, while still alive. I'll set out provisions as much as piety requires to make sure the city is not totally corrupted. So then she can speak her prayers to Hades, the only god she worships, for success avoiding death, or else at least she'll learn, although too late, how it's a waste of time to work out honor for which Hades holds.